أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله أوله بلا أول كان قبل وآخره بلا آخر يكون بعده الذي قصرت عن رؤيته أبصار الناظرين وأجزت عن نعته أوهام الواصفين ثم الصلاة والسلام على سيدنا ونبينا حبيب إله رب العالمين أبي القاسم المصطفى محمد عظم الله أجورنا وأجوركم والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. We extend our condolences to the Imam of our time, Imam al-Asr alayhi salam. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala haste his reappearance. A night, a day of huzn and sorrow. The end dates of Safar indeed points out to the calamities and the increase of calamities upon the believers, upon the lovers of Ahlul Bayt alayhimus salam. The month of Safar indeed indicated as a month of huzn and sorrow and a bad omen, with the many du'as that it contains within it, indicates towards the sorrowful, the sadness and the calamities that have befallen upon the mu'mineen, upon the Ahlul Bayt alayhimus salam. 28th of Safar marks the martyrdom of Imam Hassan al-Mushtaba alayhi salam, and also the demise of our beloved Prophet, for whom Amirul Mu'mineen Ali ibn Abi Talib alayhi salam mentions that the greatest of all sorrows have taken place, the greatest of all musibat, Azam al-Musiba, as he clearly points out to when he was asked, why haven't you colored your beard after the demise of the Prophet? They say that Nahnu qawmun fil musiba, we are the qawm, we are the people in musibat. And in musibat, apparently his indication was that we don't really color our beards. Then also he mentions in Nahjul Balagha that لَقَدْ إِنْقَتَى بِمَوْتِكَ مَا لَمْ يَنْقَتَى بِمَوْتِ غَيْرِكَ. With your death, لَقَدْ إِنْقَتَى, certainly what has been disconnected with your death, مَا لَمْ يَنْقَتَى بِمَوْتِ غَيْرِكَ, by the death of no one, but by your death something have been disconnected to us, and that is the connection to God, which is the revelation, which is the wahi. And also in the sermon of Nahjul Balagha, Amirul Mu'mineen, how beautifully he mentions that. I will recite from this sermon number 23, and Amirul Mu'mineen says that, O Prophet of Allah, I love you more than I loved my parents. This is Amirul Mu'mineen mentioning to the Prophet, and this is at the time when Amirul Mu'mineen have given ghusl, bathed the Prophet, and here Amirul Mu'mineen says that, O Prophet of Allah, I love you more than I loved my parents. Your death put an end to the prophethood, to revelation, and to the messengers from the Lord. It is very painful for someone who understands and who knows and who have the ma'rifat can only be speaking in this fashion. While death of other prophets had not resulted in this way, your death caused a grief that every other grief was forgotten. The grief of your separation became common sorrow, and everybody felt it. If you had not ordered us to be patient and not to lament and bemoan loudly, we would have kept weeping and lamenting ceaselessly. Through all this lamenting could not have compared with the actual losses of your separation. Put death in an inevitable event. Nobody can turn death back, and nobody can stop it from coming. Please remember us before Allah. This is what Amirul Mu'mineen mentioned after giving ghusl to the Prophet. The last day of the Prophet, which was the 28th of Safar, was very painful day. as they say that a Yaman sheet was spread over his sacred body, and it was placed for a short period after the demise of the Prophet in a corner of a room. From the sounds of wailing, people understood outside that Prophet is no longer with us. When these cries rose, for some reason the second Caliph shouted out outside the house of the Prophet that Prophet had not died but had gone before Allah like Prophet Musa. He persisted on this very much, and it was possible that he might have made some other share his views, but in the meantime one of the companion recited this verse from the Quran, from Surah Al Imran, chapter number 3, verse number 144. And the verse which was recited was, Muhammad is but a messenger. The messengers have already passed away before him. Will it be that when he dies or is slain, would you then turn back to your pre-Islamic behavior? This verse was recited after the demise of the Prophet. Prior to that, we find another report from Hazrat Fatima Zahra Salamullah Alayha, which is very painful. The Prophet speaks to his daughter just before he passes away, just before he dies. As we all know that the love of the Prophet to his daughter is extraordinary, is very different to a common love that exists between a father and a daughter. This was a very special love. That Prophet, who is Rahmatul lil Alameen, loving his daughter in this fashion is really an indication of something very special. As we all know that the Prophet will stand up when his daughter will come. Prophet, who is Rahmatul lil Alameen, who is Akmalul Anbiya, who is Khatamun Nabiyeen, is standing up in respect for his daughter. And he also points out to and clearly mentions that this is not one of the sunnah that you may carry on, meaning that the actions of the Prophet are considered as sunnah, and when we practice it, Allah rewards us, whether that be the perogatory prayers, mustahab prayers, fasting, and other ibadi amal, worship amal, or whether that be regular actions such as the clothes that the Prophet used to wear, the color, the turban, the sandals, the way he used to sleep at night, what he used to eat, how he used to sit down and eat. These are all considered as the sunnah, the perfume he used to put. However, Prophet clearly mentioned that standing up for your daughters is not the sunnah, but I do it because of Fatima. Fatima, Salamullah Alayha, the only daughter of the Prophet, was very special for the Prophet. Now, as we know, and the history have recorded, that every time the Prophet would go out from Medina, he would pass farewell to her daughter the last. He will go to the house of the daughter, he would go to the house of Fatima Salamullah Alayha and say goodbye to her. And the first house that the Prophet would visit after the trip, wherever he may have gone, is the house of Fatima. He would kiss Fatima before leaving, and he would kiss Fatima after coming back. It was a very special bond and love between the daughter and the father. And here, as it says that when father was breathing and his eyes were shut, when the father was breathing his last breath and his eyes were shut, Fatima Salamullah Alayha recited this poetry of Hazrat Abu Talib. And the poetry was this. In a very low voice, Fatima recites. This is a verse which Abu Talib recited about me, he says, when Hazrat Fatima recited that verse. And that verse was this: the luminous face in whose honor rains are sought from the clouds, the person who is the asylum for the orphans and the guardian of the widows. And when she was reciting this, Prophet opened his eyes and he said that this is the verse which Abu Talib recited about me. He mentions that. It will be, however, be better and nice if instead of the same you recite this verse of the Holy Quran, he mentioned to his daughter. And that verse is, Muhammad is but a messenger. The messenger have already passed away before him. Will it be that when he dies or is slain, you will turn back on your heels? He who turns back does not hurt to Allah, and Allah will reward the thankful one. Surah Al Imran, chapter number 3, verse number 144. However, he did remember what Hazrat Abu Talib recited during the last hours of his life, and Fatima was reciting that. It has also been reported that whenever Prophet saw Hazrat Fatima to Zahra Salamullah alayha, he would be reminded of his beloved wife Khadija Salamullah alayha, and also that pious lady who have suffered such an hardship, who have given everything that she had. She was the strong supporter of the Prophet, strong supporter of the orphans and the Muslims in the early days of Islam. And he would say that when I see Fatima, I remember Khadija. There was an extra and special bond that created with this remembrance of Hazrat Khadija through Fatima Salamullah alayha. Suddenly the Prophet made a sign to her, asking her to speak to Hazrat Fatima Salamullah alayha. And on this bed he is ill, he has heavy fever, he is suffering, and then he calls Hazrat Fatima with a sign, come closer. When the Prophet's daughter bent a little, brought her head near him and conversed with him in a low tones, Prophet said something. When Prophet said that, Fatima started to shed tears limitlessly. Tears started to flow and started to cry. And then she was crying. And then after a little while, Prophet once again did an indication. Fatima came near to the Prophet again. Prophet said something, and there was a smile seen on the face of Fatima Salamullah alayha. They asked later, what was the Prophet mentioning during these last hours to you, O Fatima, which made you cry? Fatima Salamullah alayha says that when he called me first time, he said that I am no longer going to survive with this illness that I have, and I am going to die soon. This is very painful. This is very heart-rending for me. This is very difficult for me to really tolerate and really imagine myself that how can it be possible that the daughter remain after the father. It was very painful. Then Prophet called Fatima Salamullah alayha again, and he said that, O Fatima, from amongst these Ahlul Bayt, the one who would join him, the first person to join the Prophet, will be Fatima. This relieved and made her happy. But how painful it was for the father when he knows the event that will unfold on Fatima. Fatima, who is so loving, Fatima, who is so precious, Fatima is so special for the Prophet, the daughter of the Prophet. And as we all know that how father loves their daughters, and Fatima is the only daughter of the Prophet and loved her so much, and is looking at the future, seeing the burning door falling on Fatima. What Prophet was going through at that hour? How painful it would have been for the Prophet to really remind the daughter that you will be dying soon. Right? In that sort of painful situation where he is facing his fate, where he is facing his death as well, where he is worried about the fitna, about the corruption and the fitna that will befall upon the ummah, as he clearly mentions, because in one of the sermons that he recited, once he was in pain and once he was in difficulty, he goes to the Masjid of Nabawi with the help of the companions and Imam Ali alayhi salam and Fatima salamullah alayha, looking at the father in this state, that even after this sort of in this illness, the Prophet is going to the Masjid al-Nabawi and he recites this, and he says that after me there will be problems, after me there will be tests, after me there will be issues that befell. It will be very dark. O people, the mischief has been sparked off, and rebellion has appeared like the pieces of a dark night. You have no excuse against me. I did not declare lawful anything except that which the Quran declared lawful, and did not declare unlawful anything except that which the Quran declared unlawful. This is how Prophet spoke in rage, in sort of this illness. He's saying that, oh people, the mischief has been sparkled off and rebellion has appeared like the pieces of a dark night. When Prophet have done so much, given everything what he has, suffered, and then in these last days and last hours, Prophet is seeing that the rebellion have sparkled. Prophet is seeing that there is dark clouds hanging over the ummah, right? This was very difficult, that the Prophet was seeing all of these and very worried. And at the same time, apart from this Islam and political and social calamities that will befall on Islam, he also have this suffering of his daughter, where he is reminded of, then of Imam Hussain, then of Ahl Bayt. So therefore it wasn't a very peaceful departure of the Prophet, very painful departure of the Prophet. As they say that they asked, who was with the Prophet when he breathed the last? What was Prophet saying? There are some reports. They asked, Ka'b Abhar asked the second Khalifa, Ka'b Abhar asked the second Khalifa, what did the Prophet say just before his death? This Khalif pointed to the commander of the faithful, Amirul Mu'mineen Ali ibn Abi Talib, who was also present in the meeting, and said, ask him. Amirul Mu'mineen Ali ibn Abi Talib said, while the head of the Prophet was resting on my shoulder, he said, As-salat, as-salat. Ka'b Abhar then said, this has been the way of the previous prophets as well. This has been mentioned in Tabaqat. Then at the same time, how painful it would have been for the Prophet when you find that the Prophet is mentioning in regards to bring me the ink pot and also bring me the pen where I would like to write a will for you. In the book of Sahih Bukhari, Kitabul Ilm, volume number 1, page number 22, and volume number 2, page number 14. Sahih Muslim, Musnad Ahmad, Tabaqat Kubra narrates this and mentions this, that Ibn Abbas says, the greatest calamity for Islam was that the discord and dispute of some companions prevented the Prophet from writing the deed which he intended to write. Ibn Abbas reports this, and this has been recorded in these books which I have mentioned. It was not very easy for the Prophet. That Prophet is asking for something, Prophet is concerned about something, but still Prophet's desires have not been granted. Prophet have organized a battalion to be sent to the borders of Rome, the battalion of Osama, and Prophet have asked people to join, and still people did not join. Prophet wanted the Medina to be far away from the mischief makers, who Prophet was aware that they might create an issue and a problem. From Prophet's side, he was fulfilling his responsibility to the maximum capacity, because there may be a question raised here. Well, Prophet was aware that his daughter gonna die in this fashion. Prophet was aware that there's fitna and rebellions have sparkled a fitna, and this is what is going to happen. Prophet have that knowledge, no doubt. Prophet have that knowledge, but this does not mean that Prophet doesn't do anything. Prophet does not fulfill his responsibility towards what is required to be done. So Prophet was fulfilling his responsibility by organizing the battalion, by organizing which they call the Jaysh al-Osama, to be sent to Rome with certain people not to be there, so that the transition of Ghadir, the pact of Ghadir, be carried out in the best way possible. The same way, we are aware that we are going to die, because all people are going to die. But this does not mean that we have the knowledge we're going to die one day, we should not take medicine or we should not eat anything. We are responsible to take medicine. Till the last minute we are responsible for that. And God will question us whether I have tried to cure myself or not. I will say that, well, I am going to die anyway, so why should I take medicine? So yes, the Prophet have that knowledge, but at the same time, from Prophet's side, he has to fulfill all his responsibility. So these hours and these days are the days of huzn and sorrow. The last breath of the Prophet has been reported, the last day of the Prophet, how it was, has been reported that from the riwayat of the uncle of the Prophet, Ibn Abbas, he says that there was a confusion. During the last moment of his life, the Prophet opened his eyes and said, "Call my brother." This is the last hour of the Prophet, because there is a confusion, and I will try to point out to the sanad of that, the proof of that, the reference of that. And then during the last moment of his life, the Prophet opened his eyes and said, "Call my brother so that he may come and sit by my side." All those present understood that he meant no one other than Ali. Ali sat by the side of his bed, but felt that he wanted to raise from his bed. He therefore lifted the Prophet from his bed and made him rest on his chest. Soon afterwards, signs of death began to appear in his sacred face. Some asked Ibn Abbas, in whose lap did the Prophet breathe his last? Ibn Abbas replied, the Prophet departed while his head was on the lap of Ali alayhi salam. That person added, Aisha, the wife of the Prophet, claims that when the Prophet breathed his last, his head was resting on her bosom. Ibn Abbas contradicted her claim and said, the Prophet breathed his last in the lap of Ali and my brother Fazl bathed his body. This is from Tabaqat, volume number 2, page number 263. Apart from this, in Nahjul Balagha, Amirul Mu'mineen Ali ibn Abi Talib alayhi salam says, the Prophet breathed his last when his head was on my chest. I bathed his body while the angels were assisting me. So therefore, we find that these last hours of the Prophet was Amirul Mu'mineen. Indeed, I extend my condolences to all humanity, to all Muslims, to all Mu'mineen and Mu'minat, to all lovers of Ahl Bayt and the Prophet alayhimus salam upon this tremendous loss of the Prophet of Islam, who was Rahmatul lil Alameen, who was mercy to mankind. Prophet has been introduced in the Quran as Rauf, as the most kindest one, and the Prophet have been introduced as mercy to mankind. Rahmat, which is the overwhelming quality, sifat of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. He is Rahman and He is Rahim. And this quality is manifested in this great man who was known as Muhammad ibn Abdullah, who was the Habib of Allah. Allah had Khalil, Allah had Kalim, but Habib is a very special title given to the Prophet. When we look at the Prophet's character, is considered to be his khulq azim. Innaka ala khulqin azim. The khulq of the Prophet is considered as azim, which is the name of God. Subhana Rabbiyal Azimi wa bihamdi, as we recite. He is azim, he is great. Test, right? Azim. And the Prophet qualities and his khulq is been considered as azim. Quran azim. So someone who wants to know the character of the Prophet, the qualities and the sifat of the Prophet, he must know the Quran. And to really know the Quran is beyond our capacity. We are just at the surface, at the very shore of this great ocean, this great knowledge of God. And those who are ulil albab, ahl al-zikr, they are able to really explain us, inform us, provide us with knowledge and understanding of what Quran is. So the same way, to understand the Prophet, we have to go to Ahl Bayt alayhimus salam. They will teach us, they will make us understand what this personality was. It is very difficult for a common man to understand this great personality. As the Quran clearly says and honors the Prophet, and he says, Inna Allaha wa malaikatahu yusalluna ala nabi ya ayyuhalladhina amanu sallu alayhi wa sallimu taslima. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. It is a great honor that Allah is using His special name, the mother of all names. He says, Inna Allah, with inna, which means certainly, and Allah, not Inna Rahman or Inna Rauf or Inna Malik, the names of Allah, but he says Allah, Inna Allah. Allah and the Malaika sends blessings and salutations on the Prophet. And Yusalluna ala Nabi. This once again is not saying ala Muhammad. He's saying, he's using the title. You know, when you use the title, this shows respect. When you go to a doctor, you say, you know, doctor, or you take the name Dr. Zaid or Dr. Ali or whatever. When you take the name, it is a bit more sort of closer, kind of not disrespect, but normal. But when you say doctor itself, which means the doctor, which means you are using full of respect. So Allah addresses the Prophet Al-Nabi, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu, and also asks those who have Iman to send the salutations and blessings. However, we also find a different type of tone being used for mu'mineen. وَالَّذِي يُصَلِّي عَلَيْكُمْ وَمَلَائِكَتُهُ لِيُخْرِجَكُمْ مِنَ الظُّلُمَاتِ إِلَى النُّورِ, in Surah Ahzab once again. Right? هُوَ الَّذِي يُصَلِّي, he says, هُوَ الَّذِي يُصَلِّي عَلَيْكُمْ مَلَائِكَةٌ وَيُخْرِجُكُمْ, and they are taken out from Zulumat to Nur. It is not Inna Allah. This is for mu'mineen. Then also in Surah Araf, when we look at what Prophet have done, what Prophet have brought to humanity. وَيَدَعُ عَلَيْهِمْ إِسْرَاهُمْ وَالْأَغْلَالِ الَّتِي كَانَتْ عَلَيْهِمْ. Prophet made you free. That's what the verse is saying. You were shackled in chains, and Prophet came and he made you free. Freedom is the most valuable thing that a man can have. Freedom is the ultimate zenith of humanity. Freedom is the quality that cannot be compared to any others. Freedom is the quality which tends to be in the maximum capacity amongst the human beings compared to all other creatures. All other creatures are limited in terms of their freedom, but it is human being who is able and who is capable to really execute his freedom to the maximum capacity. When we look at certain creatures, such as, for example, plants or even animals, which tend to be much more in terms of their grade of existence, we find that they are, but they are also limited. They are limited to what they eat, what they drink, how they function. But it is human being, it is insan, who is capable of expanding his existence to the capacity that he could survive in the subpolar areas, which is minus 60, 70, at the same time at the most Saharas, where there is 55, 60 degrees of heat. So this points out to that the capability and capacity that a human can really adapt, that he is free, or his body is free, his soul is free and capable of adapting these things. So therefore, the purpose of the Prophet was to free humanity, was to free mankind from the ills of the society, from the ills of the ideology, from the ills of material bodily pleasures or limitations that a human soul could have. So the Prophet was the one who freed man. And that's why Amirul Mu'mineen clearly points out to in Nahjul Balagha that it was the Prophet who made you, who brought you out. You were living at a time, as they say, the historians points out to, that the Arabs particularly have become or have reached to a point where if it wasn't for the Prophet, the Arab race will vanish, will be doomed, will extinct. But it was the Prophet who brought them and at the same time all of humanity out from the darkness and made man free. Indeed, when we look at the Quran and the teachings and the seerah and the sunnah of the Prophet, we find that what an amazing person, what an amazing personality, what a great individual, that whether he be a father or a leader or a grandfather, that's so fascinating in terms of his treatment to others. Amazing person, and it is a loss of this great personality. Today we also look at that the disconnection of representation of God on earth by the Prophet is a great loss, and that's what Amirul Mu'mineen in different ways points this out, as we also see in the ziyarat of the Prophet on Saturday that we recite, that the greatest musibat have befallen on us because of the disconnection of the wahy. Today also we have the commemoration of the martyrdom of his grandson Imam Hassan Mushtaba alayhi salam, the loneliest leader. Indeed, he suffered so much by the hands of the ummah, by the hands of the nation, that the very wife who is so close, who is supposed to be so close, poisons Imam Hassan Mushtaba alayhi salam. I just wanted to remind myself and also my dear Mu'mineen and Mu'minat, the lovers of Ahl Bayt alayhimus salam, our Muslim brothers, and also our viewers who are watching, that Imam Hassan Mushtaba have mentioned that Kunu awiyat al-ilm wa masabi al-huda. Never say that you are retired in seeking knowledge. Never say that you are complete in understanding and having knowledge. Always inquire, always educate yourself, always gain knowledge, because there is no limit to it. Imam Hassan Mushtaba alayhi salam is advising us and the ummah to really seek knowledge and understanding. The life of Imam Hassan Mushtaba is also heart-rendering, heartbreaking, very sorrowful. How he was attacked, how he was left alone, how he was forced to really execute the peace treaty. Having said that, but what a peace treaty that was so strong, that was so powerful, that even till today, through this peace treaty, we unveil the culprits, we unveil the evil of the society and of the Muslim ummah. Who were the perpetrators? Who were the corrupt ones? Who were the evil? It is through this peace treaty. The same way as Ashura divides between the haqq and batil, Imam Hassan Mushtaba's peace treaty clearly points out to the haqq and batil, who is on haqq and who is on batil. If one really reflects upon this peace treaty, Imam Hassan Mushtaba have exactly carried out the tarbiyat of Hazrat Fatimatul Zahra salamullah alayha. Imam Hussain alayhi salam also carried out the tarbiyat of Hazrat Fatimatul Zahra salamullah alayha. The Ahl Bayt alayhi salam, the Masumeen alayhi salam, the Imams are there to really make us discern between haqq and batil. That's why we recite after the dua of ziyarat of Imam al-Jawad, Imam al-Taqi alayhi salam, Allahumma arini haqqa haqqa fatbahu. Oh Allah, show me haqq as haqq so that I follow it. Wa arina al-batila batilan, show me the batil the evil as evil, فَاشْتَنِبُوا, so that I do ishtinab, so that I be far away from the batil. Oh Allah, do not mix this haqq and batil for me, so that I follow my hawa, so that I follow my desire. The Ahl Bayt alayhimus salam are there to discern, to show the difference and clarify and make clear where is haqq and where is batil. Imam Hussain in Karbala and Imam Hassan alayhi salam, through this peace treaty, clearly rectifies, clarifies the haqq and batil for us. And this is the seerah of Fatima Zahra salamullah alayha, where the mother have clearly made that sort of draw that line of haqq and batil. And this is why the Prophet's been sent for, with the haqq, with the truth. And Imam Ali alayhi salam, as well, as we see that Ali ul mal haqq wal haqq wal mal Ali, from the Prophet himself. So it is a clear line of us to understand between the truthhood and falsehood. Inshallah, we pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that Allah increase our tawfiq, Allah increase our understanding, our knowledge, and at the same time our amal salih, our righteous act, to really follow the truth, to be on the truth, to at the same time practice the truth and spread the truth, inshallah. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala haze the reappearance of our 12th Imam and include us as his faithful companions. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgive all our marhumeen and increase their daraja and mahshur them with Ahl Bayt alayhimus salam. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgive you and me, and also give us tawfiq to bring the teachings of Ahl Bayt alayhimus salam in us and in our family and in our community. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.